Hey, what's up everybody? This is DocHoliday, once again bringing you some more professional Korean StarCraft content courtesy of StarCastTV. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel so far. If you have, of course, you can always hit that subscribe button and show us a little bit of support there. Of course, there's also the comment section below where you can let us know how much you love or hate the casts. I hope it's the former, of course. But we're bringing you a PvT today. Going to be a pretty excellent game. I'm sure it's going to be between Free and Piano. Of course, the caliber of the games here on the channel are always amazing since it's always professional Koreans. But without any further ado, let's hop on into the game. Here we go. Alrighty guys, well, spawning in the bottom left hand corner as the red Protoss, we have Free. And in the bottom right hand corner, spawning as the blue Terran, we have Piano. Alrighty guys, well, we're going to be playing this on a pretty interesting map for sure. As you can see, there are double gases in the mains, pretty interesting map feature. Really uncommon for all those StarCraft 2 players out there who are used to having two gases in their main. But yeah, this is really very rare for most maps. And in my estimation, this is likely going to benefit Terran a little bit here, as you're going to be on two bases but have 3 gas, which means that likely going to be able to afford a couple more machine shops on your factories and really be able to start pumping out those very powerful siege tanks. It's not going to have very much of a bearing on the early game for either of the races. But yeah, around the 2 to 3 base timing for Terran, I would assume that will be very strong. But we do have the gateway down at a pretty normal time here for our Protoss player. 2Bo just finishes up, and so this is likely going to be the racks. Yep, there it is. Barracks is in a kind of an interesting position here at the natural expansion. No real problem with the barracks positioning itself, but the first depot is down here. So this is not going to allow, Piano to make that zealot tight wall that you often see players use to out-micro the potential for a zealot. The Marines are usually able to scooch right in between the barracks and the depot without being able to be hit by the zealot, since he is a little bit bigger. Can't quite squeeze through there. We're gonna have to see if the zealot comes through here, and it looks like we are gonna be getting a zealot, so that's a little unfortunate of a I guess a decision here for Piano. He would know better than me though, whether or not that's the correct way to play this map, but it just seems so interesting that we wouldn't have that very standard positioning for the depot right there next to the barracks. Looks like we're going to be having a racks expand though, due to the lack of gas that we see here on the main base geysers for Terran. So we should have this SCV throw down a CC in just a moment. That likely means we're going to need an actual bunker here right at the front to prevent the Zealot and the Dragoons from doing too much damage here in the early portion of the game. We're going to have to see how Piano responds to the Zealot coming across the map here in just a moment. Looks like we just have the Cybernetics Core starting to get to work on that Dragoon range. That's a very important upgrade that we're going to be seeing take effect pretty early into this game, most likely, as it's usually used to poke away at the bunker in the front that we will eventually have, I'm sure. Zealot comes in here to the main base now, and we actually are forcing a bunch of SCVs off the line here in order to deal with it. So this is already some pretty decent damage. There's a lot of SCVs to not be mining for quite a while. There are 3 Marines though, so they do DPS the Zealot down quite quickly, and so the Zealot is pushed out of the main base for now. But that being said, 5 SCVs continue to not mine, and we even have put down the bunker now. So everything, so far going pretty well for Free. This is a lot of missed mining time for these SCVs. So, ooh, very nice micro though by Piano. Almost gets the surround on the Dragoon. That would have been catastrophic, as losing those early goons is really important. Goons are actually very expensive despite them being quite a basic unit for Protoss. So very good that we didn't lose that. As a matter of fact, it looks like we basically lost all the shields, but no damage to the HP whatsoever. So excellently played by Free. Factory now looks like it's coming down somewhere here. We should be seeing that, getting a machine shop right away. Gonna need that tank as soon as possible, because we do have, as you can see up here in the top left, Dragoon range very close to being done here soon. Alrighty, speaking of those map features that we mentioned earlier, so this like partial mineral line over here. This is what I was talking about. So these minerals, they mine out fairly quickly, as you can see. They're about 250 minerals or so per patch. And that actually allows you to get to this path outside of your natural expansion, which leads to another third base here in this dark portion of the map right there. But we do have the classic Dragoon harassment on the bunker now. You're going to need 1 SCV per Dragoon in order to be able to stop the Dragoons from busting this. Of course, that's not particularly demanding a task. You just got to stick your SCVs on there as the Dragoons arrive, and you should be just fine repairing it and keeping your bunker alive here. And this only ends when the tank comes out, because the tank is going to be the only unit that can really outrange the Dragoons here in the early game. So tank is on its way. It looks like we have siege mode being researched as well, so eventually this harassment at the front will end, but that is a concession that you make when you decide to go for a barracks expand and get that very fast CC to get those early SCVs. So all things going as planned. Nexus has finished up now for free, and we have Dragoons continually just kind of making their way across the map here so that they can come help just do some damage to this bunker. Of course, we have 4 SCVs not mining, spending minerals, as a matter of fact, as they keep this bunker nice and healthy. But now that the tank is out, as you can see, he can kind of shoot at the Dragoons from his little hidey hole in the corner here, and this is going to kind of be the end of the harassment in a little bit here. Notice this is actually kind of really cool that Free's doing this. He finds that these bottom 2 guys are able to be shot by the tank from that little corner there, so he backs those guys off, keeps the other 3 on until siege mode is done, and now the harassment is done. Looks like we're going to be backing off now, but Dragoon's coming down here now to check out in case there's any drops or anything like that. Let's see. Well, yeah, there certainly is going to be some drops, so very, very 200 IQ play here. Very, very nicely done. This dropship is going to find itself in a world of hurt if it heads that direction towards those Dragoons, but it looks like we're actually heading to the north, so 300 IQ for Piano. He's just like, you know what? I bet you he's got dudes out there. We're not taking the quick way over. We're taking the scenic route. So the Vultures on a nice little just laser cruise, heading all the way to the top of the map here. In the meantime, we got Mr. Ursidon over here, making sure no Dragoons are climbing over the walls. Taking his job very seriously, I'm sure. And oh, another Ursidon. You know, man, they're just all over. There's Ursidons on all the high grounds apparently. So they're just very, very, very good dudes. They don't want anyone to fight. You know, they're just up there. Anytime you try to send a dropship over, they're just like, nope, sorry, man, can't go there. Alrighty. Well, this Vulture has found an expansion. That's pretty nice. Good timing to kind of really get that information as soon as possible. In the meantime, we do have an OBS in the main base here now. So this is also going to provide a good amount of vision on what is going on in the Terran main. The turret is here though, so this OBS is got to be careful if he ever wants to make it out alive. But right now he's just checking on those production facilities. In the meantime, let's take a look at what's going on in the Protoss base. Looks like we got our Reaver and our first shuttle getting ready to go here. Of course, this is a classic combination of very slow Slugman and very speedy Shuttle Boy in a minute, once we get the upgrade for him at least. And it's coming. Alrighty. So we do have double machine shop already. So that is pretty nice. Terran just going to be building up that tank count very quickly. Tank, of course, probably the most powerful unit in the Terran arsenal for this matchup. Just does incredible splash damage to the generally very massive Protoss army. So that splash damage obviously very, very valuable versus a very large clumped up Protoss army. This dropship's just chilling, playing with fire, it looks like. Shuttle gives the vision that the Dragoons need to be able to shoot that down as well. Even Cannon getting a little bit in on the action there. So this dropship, unfortunately, very unproductive for Piano. Essentially accomplishes nothing. In the meantime, we have this SCV preparing this third over here for an expansion, looks like. So that is pretty nice that we got that turret down. Hopefully the shuttle doesn't come in here and just blow it up right away after that SCV put in all that hard work. But we do have a lot of Protoss now heading across the map here, potentially for an attack or something here at the natural expansion. Maybe we're just looking to contain. Not 100% sure what the intention of the move out is yet, but I'm sure we're going to see here soon. In the meantime, third already very saturated. Protoss economy looking real strong here. Looks like it's time to get frisky. All right, shuttle. What are we planning on doing here, man? We're gonna move forward. We're gonna do some damage. Looks like we're dropping the slug boy out. Ooh, slug boy instantly blows up a dude on a motorcycle. Just very hostile. Terran does notice, though, because of those vultures, that there is a giant Protoss army outside his front door. So it looks like we're going to slowly push forward here. Looks like one scarab gets out and does a good chunk of damage to one of the tanks here. But we're going to back off before too much damage is done. Looks like we found an OBS, though. Nice little pick off for the Terran. And it's time for that very complicated game of Leapfrog, where you try to just get your tanks to move, you know, where you want them to. And they do their best, you know. As you can see, some of these guys getting stuck doing the Macarena in the back here, but they're doing their best. In the meantime, nothing too crazy going out here on the map. Dropship out, I believe it's just empty, right? Completely empty dropship just hanging out. I wonder if we'll even remember that dropship exists by the end of the game. We'll have to see if that's used for any kind of additional harassment. But the Leapfrog game continues as Terran tries to gain ground on the Protoss, moving out towards the middle of the map and using those very powerful siege tanks as they were meant to be used for area denial. Set up very strong defensive positions. Looks like we're just trying to clear the way forward a little bit here so Protoss doesn't have the entire map to themselves. Big old minefield now getting placed down here in the this area. And this is about the ideal choke as well for Terran to take this. Looks like the minefield gets immediately blown up as the Zealots come in here. Huge engagement so far. Oh my gosh, the Zealots are very close to being on top of this large chunk of tanks on the ground. Dragoons moving forward here, but a number of them shooting the barracks, actually. Look how low the barracks is. That is a ton of damage that's been absorbed by the barracks from the Protoss army. 700 damage or so. And wow, an excellent engagement from Piano. Unfortunately, it looks like Free got a little too trigger happy there and went in for the push. And it just didn't work out. The additional tanks really were just very good. We do have the 3 gases, so I mean we have lots of tanks here. Got our armory upgrades cranking as well. Do we have +1 yet? Looks like we do have +1. +2, very close to being about halfway done there as well. Ooh. Oh no! Oh, that's sad. That's a very expensive unit to be just losing to some mines. Ooh, we might even lose this northmost guy as well here. Okay, not bad. Dragoons are notoriously very expensive units for Protoss. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they cost almost as much as a siege tank, which I know sounds ridiculous considering the difference in strength, but it is true. They really do cost almost as much as a siege tank. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, losing those units for free mines is always a pretty bad thing. And Terran's always very happy to get even just 1 or 2 Dragoons with the mines in the early portions of these, especially when they're not even, you know, in an engagement. So overall, no, that first engagement really went very well for Piano. Conserved a huge portion of his tank count, and you can see that reflected in his current tank count. Lots and lots of tanks on the field here. That's the unit that is essentially critical for the Terran success here. The vultures are primarily meat shields, and of course the mines contribute a lot as well. They do a good amount of damage to Protoss units, especially the shields, since shields take full damage from everything as well. So primarily very strong units, but really it's the tanks. In the meantime, though, we do have a pretty successful Zealot drop coming down here. But, well, I mean, a lot of the SCVs just kind of get out of here without taking too much damage. SCVs, very tanky units. Jeez. Man, if this were drones, they'd be super dead. Look at it. We even send the SCVs back to go mining before before the vultures arrive, and we only lose like 1 or 2 additional SCVs because man, they are super tanky. Vultures coming in here to clean this up. There, they deal excellently, of course, with Zealots, so very good unit for that. But overall, pretty good drop there. We got some decent damage done to the SCVs, got the turrets killed, so we got to replace those. So a decent amount of damage done there. Certainly nothing game-ending, but certainly not a bad decision either. Terran mech army moving out to the middle of the map, though, sees the Protoss army, decides to turn around. It is so, man, it is just so scary as a Terran player moving in on the map, because any misstep, any bad siege, you can just lose your the entire army, and that's game over for you. So being very careful here. Piano is just trying to eat up more and more of the map with his positioning as the game goes on. It does look like we're very close to stasis being done here, so Arbiter is going to start presenting a bit of a threat here in the mid game and joining that Protoss Gateway army. Of course, a big stasis could mean the difference between a winning and losing engagement. Getting 3 to 5 tanks with a couple of stasises can really change the way a battle goes. But man, this Terran army is massive, completely maxed out. We have +2 on the mech. This is like the timing that you really want to hit. +2 is extremely powerful, especially on tanks. Very, very, very strong unit here. Let's take a look. The Arbiter is pretty close to a stasis, but we shouldn't be engaging. I think we just got to stall for some more. Huge Zealot army getting on top of a lot of these tanks. But man, this defense matrix is doing work. We have 2 right in the front here, and those units are being focused down. And man, did they take a ton of damage once again. Oh my gosh, these engagements are just amazing for Piano. We are moving our siege line forward slowly here. Additional, ooh, big stasis though. That is 4 tanks and like 2 or 3 vultures as well. So a huge chunk of the army gets frozen in time with that stasis from the Arbiter. But unfortunately, doesn't seem to matter as there's no more Protoss on the map. Oh man, Zealots rallying up from this main base production site. But I mean, I guess they are getting some stuff done here. But dang. Really? This mech is not dying. And then oh, is this Arbiter gonna get a kill? Oh, he totally is. Watch. Oh, the Arbiter got oh, man. That Arbiter is so proud, man. He's gonna go home and tell his mama. But Siege Line gets into the natural expansion, and Free knows it is time to leave the game. And that is gonna be it, man. An exceptional victory for Piano. Very well played by him. Just crushing through with just a 200 Terran mech army with +2 attack. Excellent macro. Great game from both of our players, and congratulations to Piano for that wonderful victory. Alrighty guys, well that was it for today. Again, if you guys could please consider hitting that subscribe button, we'd really appreciate that. And leave me a comment down in the comment section. Tell me if you enjoyed or hated the cast. Really appreciate all that stuff. I will be reading all of them. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and y'all have a good one.